'Tis the season for baseball teams to be trading players and signing free agents with the winter meetings at hand. But I don't think any winter meetings or even a week in baseball's off-season was like the 1980 off-season with Cardinals manager and general manager Whitey Herzog. Now, Whitey had taken over a losing team during the season that year, and then right before the end of the season stepped down as manager, became general manager, trying to fix things a little bit. First he conducted a search for a new manager and of course hired himself back as the manager. So then it was on to fixing the roster. First he signed, the day before the meeting, signed Darryl Porter to catch. This meant that Ted Simmons, the Cardinals' best hitter, was going to play first base, and at first Simmons thought he was okay with this, but then decided later in the week he was not going to be okay with that. The Cardinals' biggest weakness of many was the bullpen, so Herzog set about to improve that and swung an 11-player deal with the San Diego Padres, in which he traded Terry Kennedy and got back Gene Tennis and Bob Shirley, and most importantly, Rowdy Fingers. In the meantime, he also traded 6 players of flotsam and jetsam quality to the Padres to make sure he could get Fingers, and they got Kennedy that way. Bullish on relievers, he then talked to the Chicago Cubs about getting Bruce Sutter, which he did the next day for Ken Reitz and Leon Durham. Now he had 2 closers on a team that had none before that. He talked to both of them to see if they didn't mind one would set up one day and one would close, and vice versa the next day, and Fingers seemed to have a problem with that. So Herzog thought, well, we have to trade him. At about the same time, Simmons decided he was not happy with playing first base for 6 innings and having Keith Hernandez being in left field for 6 innings and come back to first base to replace him. So he thought, well, he'd like to be traded also, and Whitey tried to accommodate him. He had the Yankees and Brewers as possibilities. He ended up trading Simmons, Pete Vukovich, and Rowdy Fingers. Simmons had to waive his no-trade clause to the Brewers for Dave LaPointe, David Green, Larry Sorensen, and Sixto Loscano. That deal was agreed to on a Thursday, so in the meantime, Herzog was about out of bullets. He traded enough players for 2 rosters almost, and then the Friday of the winter meetings, he came into the press room, told the media, boys, I'm sorry, I got nothing for you today, I apologize. That was great news for me to hear, because I'd been calling all these 24 players in the last 4 days. I needed a nap, so I went upstairs at the hotel. Now at this time, the rules of baseball trading were different. The interleague trading period was from the end of the World Series to one day before the winter meeting, so it was a pretty hectic pace, and late into the night, many times at the hotel bar up in general managers and owners' suites, teams would concoct trades, and one such trade almost was concocted near the end of winter meetings one time, an interleague trade. But the next morning, when the players of the coaching staff, and the executives of Team A woke up and decided, wow, we can't make that deal, that's horrible. So one of the scouts from the team went down to the hotel door of the general manager of Team B, knocked on the door and said, hey, that trade don't count. Our GM was drunk last night. Well, luckily the papers hadn't been filed and no trade was made.
If you want to know more about a St. Louis sports figure or a particular moment, email the Commish at rhummel@post-dispatch.com.